Today we're going to talk about getting out these pesky drive shafts out of your ATV. They've got seals on either side of the engine. So if you take a look here, where this shaft goes into the rear transmission, there's a seal. You can see up here where the other end of the shaft goes inside, there's a seal there as well, and that one failed. Here's another seal right here that goes from the front of the engine up through to the front differential. So there's seals all over an ATV, and those seals go bad over time. Now when those seals go bad, you have to get those out, and the only way to do that is to remove the drive shaft. And you may wonder, well, how do I do that? Well, these drive shafts actually have a spring right in here, and they will compress. Oh, this one is really, really hard. It's all locked up. So how do you get these things out when they are completely locked up and you can't free them up? And this one's going to be a real pain to even get it apart. So how I did it is to get the ATV up, then you're able to get all of your body leverage on this shaft and hold on to that knuckle and that U-joint. And all I had to do was take a hammer and just pound on it while I was pushing. And it didn't go anywhere at first until I started sticking some PB Blaster in there. And then before I knew it, this top was coming loose and it worked out really well. This saved the part. Some guys have to cut these things in half, and this little tiny drive shaft here cost you about $200 if you think about it. So unless you're driving around in really dry conditions somewhere out west or somewhere in the desert or anywhere like that, you're going to find that things will last a lot longer. But here, where there's a lot of water, mud, we ride in snow, these drive shafts will lock up. So what you want to do is get a good grease, and that grease that you want to use is called Moly EP or molybdenum grease or marine grease. But that's really what you want to use in these types of parts to keep them free and clear and to stop that water from getting in there. Because once that water penetrates and a bearing grease won't stop it, you need a good quality grease. This SDP grease, which is not a sponsor, but this STP grease does a pretty good job. Being my son's ATV, we're going to see how well it works on this application, but I used regular old bearing grease the last time I did this job, and that didn't work. So all this is going to take is a little bit of gentle persuasion to free up, break that rust. There we go. You can even see in there's a little bit of that red bearing grease that I used last time. Oh, and here, look at the spring. Here's the spring with that red bearing grease that I coated on it, and the spring is all rusty. So you can see that didn't work. That failed. You need a good molybdenum grease, and we're going to get these parts all cleaned up with some brake clean, and then we're going to get it greased up right. Look at all the stuff in there. That's all mud, dirt. It's all dirt. And that's why these things get locked up. So we saved some money, and now we just got to clean it up. Because what happens is they have these boots that protect the inside of those splines. And there's a spring in there. But unfortunately, what happens when you're bombing through water and mud and grease and all kinds of stuff that's all nasty, these little rubber boots, they fail, they get brittle. These are still in good shape, but so much water gets forced in there, especially if you bury it in deep, deep water. Just the static pressure of the water will find its way inside there no matter what you do. So hopefully this video will help you guys the next time you go ATVing and you come home from your ride and you see a little oil that's leaking or weeping, and the dirt grabs onto that oil and you see that you've got a little seep coming from your seal. Now you know how to easily fix it. That drive shaft gets locked up, get this ATV up, and you're going to need someone to help you. They're 800 pounds. You're going to need two guys to help you pull that up or winch it up to where you can get that, pound that thing free. That'll save you some trouble. Then get yourself a good molybdenum grease and get that stuff all lathered up And next time you go ATVing, you won't have any of these troubles and problems that I have.